One of the features of the Cloud Governance Admin Center is out here on the right-hand side called the Service Request Setup Assistant. This is designed to help you get your services up and running and published out to your users quickly. To start it, we click on Go to Setup. We then pick the type of service that we're trying to create: Site Collection, Microsoft 365 Group, and Microsoft Team Service. In this case, let's say I want to do a Teams provisioning service. We give the service a name, set the language, and then make sure we select the appropriate tenant if you have multiple Microsoft 365 tenants connected to Cloud Governance. What quota would you like for the team site? And how would you like to handle external sharing? If you click the slider, that will show you additional options. In this case, let's say we don't want any external sharing. Then I click Next. If I click the slider for Lifecycle Management, that's going to present me with a series of options that I can enable around managing that team over time. For instance, the inactivity threshold and the lease. If you're new to Cloud Governance, the inactivity threshold is a period of time that elapses where users have not accessed that object, in this case a Microsoft team. The lease period is different. The way that a lease works is that when that object, again in this case a team, gets provisioned, a countdown begins. 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, whatever you'd like to do. As we approach the end of that lease period, someone will be notified that that team is about to expire. Who that someone is determined by you. In Cloud Governance, remember, if you type a $, you can pull up these roles. And in this case, we could do things like the contacts or the team owners. With that the way that I want, I click Next. The next step is to define your approval process. The approval process in this particular case will be who gets to approve the new team request. Auto approve means it automatically happens. 1 stage, 2 stage, or 3 stages are also available, as are the various roles. So I'm going to go with Manager of the Requester. So if I request a brand new team, the task of approving that will be routed automatically to my boss. The last step is to define whether or not you want a renewal. A renewal creates tasks so that the team contacts can periodically go in there and modify any of the information about it around permissions, metadata, and so on. Essentially, the logic is you don't want the object to just be created and it becomes stagnant. Over time, users will no longer need access to that team, and so their permissions should be removed by revoking their membership. Over time, contacts may change. The individual who was originally the contact may leave the organization, and therefore someone else should be made the contact for that team. The duration of the renewal process is how long the process is allowed to go on without being completed. Essentially, if that time elapses without any type of renewal being recertified, then that team will be considered uncertified. It is essentially no longer within the boundaries of our policy, because our policy dictates that every 3 months, these things should be reviewed and approved. But note, of course, there are other roles in there that I could select. If everything looks good, down at the bottom we click Save. It notifies us we're creating the service for you, and this process will take a moment. So I'll click OK. And now over on the left, I'm going to click Services, and we can see there is our brand new service. If I now go over to My Hub, logged in as a user, and we go to Start a Request, under Provisioning, here is our new Request New MS Team. This user can now fill that out to get a brand new team created, according to the parameters we set up in the service. Now, please note, these types of things were always available, so again, this option back out here on the Home tab of the new Cloud Governance Admin Center is designed to make that quick and easy for you. There are additional options that can be built into the service. If I go into Services again, and click on the service, you can see it takes us back into the classic Cloud Governance Service interface. The reason is because I can come in here and I can click on this service to review additional options that were filled in as a default. You can deactivate it and then thereby modify that service if there's a particular setting that you would like to go in there and manually set. Thanks for watching this short video on the brand new Cloud Governance Admin Center Service Request Setup Assistant.